Greetings to all in creation. Here's another message this 17th of January 2021. It's a beautiful Sunday, nice and sunny out here in galactic central Milky Way galaxy Aurora. And how I know that things are way better under the sun is, first of all, finally Archangel Michael is posting content that is up to snuff again, as well as Andrew Ryan Profaci is assisting in the unraveling of the truth. Jonah Terry is as well seemingly able to channel his inner Philip, as well as attempt reconciliation through their wicked means still, because up until last night, they were all in rituals all night long, which, down at the reception, they're very courteous to insinuate what's going on. Then the police is absolutely gentlemanlike because I've been calling them in severe distress. I've been weeping in the bathtub and I call the police and cry because they've been channeling all these weird messages online going to me, if anybody's trying to tell you to hop into a car with them, it's the terrorist little girls mob mafia who are planning to drive you away to some remote desert place and harm you. So I've been, how I also know that things are a little bit better is as soon as I opened my eyes from the snap following the previous message, I had a direct inclination to just start broadcasting the next message of sort of redemption and forgiveness. However, I stopped myself and I kind of took note, trying to make an outline for the message, which resembles a lot more the levels and quality of the Lemurian ways of lifestyle and work when we used to sit in meetings and come up with articles when you guys hadn't fallen so bad. So I just took down little snippets of things that I've been observing since my return to the alien infested Earth equal non-heart yet. So what's been going on and the innuendos and relationals to the scene of original sin, when basically in actual facts being said in the ways of the gospel, it would be said as such. So while Eve was in and of Adam, death was not in the lexicon. Then, once Eve was externalized, death became part of the experience because she never went back into oneness, union. Now, what is divine union? What is the divine bridal chamber, which is also known in Jerusalem once they pray as the Holy of Holies? Well, that's when equally yoked divine beings that are conceptualized to be eternalized are in a room. So those fraud couples and bullshit marriages that are being trafficked and, all the churches now, none of that is Christian. Right now, everyone on earth is still a Jew or a Gentile, basically. People will not become Christians until you accept me. So until I begin and the initial spark, once, Archangel Uriel, Father of all creation, also known as Lucifer, was still in service and I was on land of the aliens there, courtesy of him, and he contacted me. The initial spark when he finally approached me after all my service where we were very cold towards each other, the first thing that came out of me was Church of Ra. So I dedicated a Church of Ra to him, and I wrote him very eloquent poetry about the Church of Ra. Now, none of that occurred because everybody is still a Jew. Meaning, what is a Jew? You guys only have a mother, and you have daddy issues, so therefore you're all lost in pornography and prostitution and the rest for your deep fixation on denying me at any and every cost. And that has been, led by David, absolutely, and in part also by Texas a little bit, because even though I do appreciate and honor in the highest Sir Pearson for his, and I'm not even sure he wrote the letter. It might have been Amber who just wrote a letter with a spell when they wrote me the first letter on March 7th, 2017, saying, it might have been her, it might have been him, who knows, because I did feel the masculine heart. Goddess Aurora, I love you, I honor you for your service, you're a warrioress, etc. However, the name Aurora, mother of new creation, never ever came out of him. It was mother of all creation, he called me, and then he called me mother of creation. So that, by its own, created fraud, parasitical entities in the field on this day of my great portal gift for humanity. And instead of everybody ascending to the vertical force, everybody started to descend in an everlasting downward spiral, rendering you all slaves. What is a slave? It's a sinner. You can never be free. You can never become American as sinners, ever. So I know now there's a general movement of the atoms where everybody mocks me, calls me baby, calls me sweetie, calls me weird things like that, and everybody's trying to diminish me and, but in fact, you're only talking to yourselves, because what's going on in the field and this snake-like serpentine spirits that are of, it's parasitical entities, and you get bit. So this happened, in IC/AUB, and then here, the United States, especially, Hilton World, because in Florida, David tempted me every day. He would force me, say, it was him and I, we were married, husband and wife. He would ask his friend, Joe, to take me home through the ocean on our bikes while he would just drive home in a car, and, try to see what I was going to do. Was I going to kiss Joe when Joe would try to kiss me after, the beach club on Siesta Key? And obviously I wouldn't kiss any of them. Then they would start to think that I have issues because I wasn't being, all what he wanted me to be. David wanted me to be Amber. Instead, he gave Amber my name, and she thinks now that it's completely fine. However, what's causing these people's malady is, they don't know themselves. Once you don't know yourself, you will never be satisfied. Therefore, you will dive deeper in sin and make fools out of yourselves. So if you guys think that you're making a fool out of me by, trafficking each other and mass orgies and fornication, and then turning it around on me, calling me the baby, and, putting videos every day in my face of dogs and babies and black people and, people singing songs I don't even know, and then those subliminals that are pretty much, most of them are fake, where you're, insinuating things about me, whatever it is that you guys are trying to do here as a whole. You're wasting a lot of time and energy in subverted relational atomically. You're all sick people, basically. You're all bit, and those men are making fun of you. If you women think that you're so smart to Amber making, saying I'm Dima Tabrawi, and then Totiana saying I'm Aurora Diamond Rainbow, and Victoria going I'm Aurora Morningstar. You're not. These boys are making fun of you. And instead of honoring the divine feminine in you and saying, no, if you don't call me whoever you are, to whoever man you're relating to. And if you don't know yourselves, you're all gonna stay stupid little troll bimbos in absurdia, serving as a lower entity, prostitute, mob, mafia, terrorist, anti-American people. And then the biggest irony was when Amber said, I'm you and I'm America and I'm gonna kill you and it's you or I and I'm gonna deport you. She's, reinforcing David's childhood conditioning, which I attempted as his wife to comprehend every single day. I would sit there and I would, hour by hour, monitor the guy, his heart rate, his organic constitutionals, his carbon self, and how he would shift according to the hour, according to which substances he would ingest and the time of day. And how in the morning he would be a wonderful person, and then come 5 in the afternoon he would turn into a monster, or whatever triggered him, when he got his calls from those little prostitutes that were since then trying to become me, with a Caitlin Gretzinger visiting, etc. And instead of healing himself, he got deeper and deeper in the trap and entrapped all you all. So that's what's going on, basically. Now, what I want to talk about here also regarding those serpentine spirits that bite you, because I'm not talking from a point of, oh, I'm better than anyone, or I'm giving people, disciplinary lesson. I as well got bit back in the day before my baptism. So once I was forced to lose my virginity by one of those mob terrorist mafiosos, who is also part of the 911, and to the FBI and the CIA and the United States, if you guys want to actually do something, cool with yourselves, instead of keep on proliferating those illness little girls and standing up for them against me, you can start taking action towards these sick atoms that actually have caused the 911, and of late, the Capitol thing and the Tennessee Christmas explosion, etc. Now, those snake-like serpentine parasite entities will have people behaving like complete idiots. Like, say there's a woman in a room with a man, and it starts to happen, and they start to look at each other in certain ways, and they start to fake getting turned on, and then they go at it, and then they start to frolic and fornicate. Well, what are they feeding? They're not feeding each other's divine consciousnesses or satisfying any of their actual heart-based earth needs for the proliferation of the healthy species and uniting heaven and earth, meaning acquiring the 6A frequency of the present moment of now for balanced harmonics, love ever present, established already. They're feeding the dark aliens that are using you all as vessels to make you all stupid, and then you all reverse that on me. As in, I'm the stupid ones, and you're all going deeper and lower into stupidity while turning it around on me as an excuse because you're hiding under my name, because you don't know yourselves, you don't honor yourselves, you don't love yourselves, and you think that this is a fun game. But this is a game that, first of all, doesn't exist. You're all living in absurdia. You're all lying to each other and yourselves. And you're proliferating illnesses, and you're in deep ego mind construct. It's very deep, dense carbon, actual molecules in space and time that are stopping even rotationals of the planet and distorting the axis of planet Earth equal heart. We are now completely, as a whole creation, serving the dark alien manifestationals instead of what we're supposed to be serving, which is the chrysalis, which is, the Christed, the cross, the chrism. So apparently after the baptism, there's a higher stage, which is the chrism, which I have acquired by now. So my baptism provided me with my service name and my name by God, Aurora. And then I got my covenant after I went in service and I came back, and I restrained myself from all sexual activity. So I was tested. this didn't come like, oh, haha, I was having fun. No, I mean, every day I go through a lot of tests and inner struggles between light and dark, and I have to win every battle to then continue advancing and deciphering what you people are doing in wrong action in order to be able to correct you all from a position of leader to new creation here and divine orders. So the chrism is higher than the baptism here. And holy risen, heavenly layers, immortality is what we are going towards, meaning and I'm doing this all alone now on behalf of everyone. Now, if you guys want to participate in something good instead of keep on being stupid, that's the little, what I would have to say about it. So when I was bit like you all, I fell in sin. I lost my virginity unwillingly. And then I had to take accountability for it because I had lost my hymen. I had bled a lot when I lost my virginity, and I didn't tell my first boyfriend back then because I fell in a deep shame. I fell in deep guilt, and I fell in deep self-loathing, and I rejected myself completely because all my Christian life had been jeopardized because I sinned. My dream was to definitely marry as a virgin and dedicate my whole life to my divine partner, whom I would love and cherish forever. So once I fell, then I started to understand the ego mind game of, the whole fucked my way up to the top, the whole using your sexuality to entice and get places in life, and the whole how the rush and the adrenaline rush that comes through when you finally get that hot guy that has all these belongings and possessions and that those hot cars and positions in life. And once you're with that, then you feel a jolt of, and it's all fake. It's a fake rush, it's a fake life. You start to work for fake purposes, and it's eternal dissatisfaction. And now I was still really struggling with my archaic roots and divine mission. So what I would do was say I would go out and party all night long on a Saturday, end up drinking and then kissing a guy in front of the whole club up in the DJ booth. Then on Sunday I would go to church and repent and cry and go ask ask for forgiveness, go confess my sins to the pastor. And then the whole week I would be good. And then because you're in the game and everybody's playing, and then you have a position to maintain, you sort of, go on the next date with the next hot guy that left the next hottest girl, and you want to go on that date because it makes you look so cool to be at a table with this cool guy that was in a 2-year relationship with that super hot girl, and now I'm on his table. I played all these games, but I was a child, mind you. You're all adults now. And the little games you play about the mass fornication and the orgies and the exchanging partners and everything, this literally was in my journey when I was maybe 13 and 14, but it wasn't in the forms that you do it. I had created a game for everybody, called Bebe Beta Butte. We would just exchange people, I would make them play. I was never really in the games. And I would watch them. We imitated the people on TV basically, and then we just rolled around each other and hugging and basic, smacking, sometimes tongue, very, it wasn't we weren't fornicating all the way, but even that was frowned in IC, so upon. And I had, the disciplinary council and the advisors